Nefarious. Well, it has been quite some time, and I'm not going to go into details as to what has happened, but it's been 1 year and 10 days since my last vlog. Basically, what has happened? Life has happened. I have gone back to work. I am no longer on paternity leave, and Deacon takes up a lot of my time. So any parent out there, new or old parent, knows that our hobby time is dictated by the time that we spend with our children. And I'll be quite honest with you, I would rather spend time with my child than playing with little plastic men. So a lot of that also has contributed to I've had a lot of hobby burnout. I've pushed myself to do projects very quickly and played a lot of games to play test these little armies, and I've burnt out. So I'm just trying to re-energize myself. I've been doing some small projects and some big projects, and we'll just kind of take it from there. Basically, what I'm going to talk about today, we're going to discuss Astro 2014, the Michael Mudd Memorial Tournament 2014, the Custodes Engagement 2014, my work in progress armies, what is happening in the new year, and very recently we had an Eternal Warriors Council meeting. So let's start off. I'm going to go into Astro 2014. So taking a look at some of my last vlogs, I realized that I was apparently supposed to be taking a true scale Howling Griffin army, which is still sitting in my basement, true scaled, but some of it hasn't even been primed yet. So obviously I didn't take that with me. Basically what I did is I did a Samhan War Host at 1500 points. I did an Autark on jet bike with Fusion Blaster, Shard of Anaris, and there was 4 6-man jet bike squads with double shuriken cannons in both, a unit of 3 Vipers with double shuriken cannons, 2 units of Warwalkers, 2 Warwalkers in each unit with a Bright Lance and Scatter Laser on each, and a unit of 8 Warp Spiders. I had a lot of fun with this army. It was a blast. I did a blog about it, and I basically did 46 models in 43 days. What it pretty much boiled down to. I really pushed myself to do it. Oh, sorry, in that army as well, I had a unit of 5 Fire Dragons in a Wave Serpent. I really pushed myself through it, and I photoed all of my progress and kind of talked about the ins and outs. I played a lot of games with it in a very short period of time, hence the reason why I burnt out a little bit. In the end result, I went 4-2, won 4, lost 2. I lost both of my games. So the first game I lost to the best overall, which was Jonathan Hung, who ended up winning for his 2nd time in a row. So congratulations to you, John. And I lost to the best general, which was Mark Ezekiel, who last year won best sportsman. I played against him last year as well. Awesome guy. I'll kind of get into that a little bit more. In the end, I placed 3rd overall and won best sportsmanship. So it was my best showing for Astronomi-con. I've been going for 5 years. First time I've taken home hardware, and the first time that I've broken top 10. I've come close before. I think the closest I've come is about 15th. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. I played against 6 really amazing opponents, and I met, most importantly to me, is that I met a group of guys from Stratford. They're all friends with Scary, old friends with Scary, so we were poking fun at him all day long. Sean Dennis, Mark Ezekiel, whom I played with, Mike Thornhill, and Peter Dennis, and or not Peter Dennis, my apologies, Peter Smith. And I played against 2 of them, Sean and Mark, and we had absolute riot. They ended up inviting me to the Michael Mudd Memorial Tournament, and I went. A whole bunch of us from the Eternal Warriors went. There was Tim, Fred, CJ, Scary, and myself, Kevin, and Craig, who are the twins. So there's 7 of us that had gone down. Absolute amazing tournament. All of the proceeds from the tournaments, all of the prize support that was there, everything, the money that they made was donated to the Humane Society. It was in memoriam for one of the gaming friends that they had in their community, Michael Mudd, who passed away in a car accident. And I don't know all the details. I didn't personally know him. So I think it was 4 or 5 years ago that it had happened, and they do this memorial tournament every single year. It was for an amazing cause. I believe they raised $2,600 and change for the Humane Society, and that was the number one outcome of it. That was the best part about it. There had some fairly heavily comped armies. They basically, you took comp penalties for spending more than 400 points in a force organization slot. So when you're elites, heavies, fast, and HQ, your troops, you could remain normal, but you took penalties for dedicated troop transports, which were in their own category. So I basically was able to take my Astro Force with me. I just included an avatar, and that was my because it was 1,750 points. My apologies. And ended up playing my first game, Ricky, who was the best overall winner. He outplayed me through and through, had a very nicely painted army. He was a great guy to play against. So he totally won the tournament based upon all of those merits. A very good player, very good painter, very good guy to play against. Played against a Tau Force for my second opponent. And it was, I don't want to say it was a cakewalk for me, but I've played against Tau before. I've played Tau before, so I was able to know what to target and really took advantage of my mobility against his kind of static gun line. And then I played against Necrons, which proved to be a very, very tough opponent for me. It was a female, which was really nice to see. It was refreshing. I didn't fall for the allure of the female where I was gawking at her because she was very attractive as well. And we just chatted about the hobby and what it was like. Because obviously, I'm a guy. We play with little men. And in my opinion, females don't generally play with little plastic men. So I wanted to know her input on what the hobby meant to her. And we had a good game. In the end, I eked out a victory. Very eked out. It came down to the very last turn. And I ended up taking the victory. So I was very happy with that. In the end, there was 40 entrants, and I placed 7th overall. So it wasn't too bad for my very first showing there. And I had a blast. Next year, I'll definitely be going. It'll be really cool. It kind of led into a little bit of a break for me. That happened, I don't remember when that happened. July? August? No, I don't remember. November. It doesn't really matter. My next tournament that I played in was a couple weeks ago, the Custodes engagement. It was 1,850. I brought my Alpha Legion, and I brought full-blown Chaos Alpha Legion. Mauler Fiends, Spawn, Helldrake, Lord with Mace, Sorcerer with Nurgle Obliterators. I went, basically what I wanted to go for was to win Best Presentation, and I did. I won Best Presentation. Now, that being said, it wasn't that huge of a victory. There was maybe 2 other armies that were fully painted. One was Greg Evers, who ended up winning the best overall. He had a really, really cool conversions on. He was playing Eldar with Tau allies, and his Wraith Knights, they were just really cool. One's posed like a Dark Reaper, one's posed like a Warp Spider. Really well done. He won best overall, deserved it hands down. And so on and so forth. I won 2nd overall, but I know that the points were a little askew. We were supposed to play 4 rounds. We only played 3 because of time constraints. And the scoring for painting, I did really well on it, of course. And I was a good sport. I won 28 out of 30 sportsman points between 3 opponents, which means that 2 people voted me to be their best opponent, and 1 person voted me to be their second best opponent. The way the sportsman awards, I'll get into that much later on. But in any event, 2nd overall and 1 best presentation. There was only 10 players, so I shouldn't take that as a big, huge success. However, it's only going to grow from here, and I look forward to the next one. And I, again, will get into that later on. So, what do I have in progress right now? My armies. I am currently working on a Centurion Star. I'm basically Grey Knights with Space Marine allies and Cotiez. Cotiez is just a beast, and for 100 points, you really can't go wrong with him. I'm also working on a list called Terror from the Deep. It is based off of an 1,850 point Tyranid force that was won a tournament down in the States. I don't remember which one it was, sorry, but it had a whole pile of lictors, had 3 lictors plus deck leapers formation, Molochs, gene stealers, spores. So I've done that, and a Flyrant. It's pretty brutal. I've played one game with it, just play testing it to see if I liked it. It will require a lot of playtesting because you really need to know what to target. It can obliterate an opponent in one turn, and it's a glass hammer basically. Once all of your cards are on the table, they're on the table for a turn where they're completely exposed and your opponent can pick it apart. So I'm leaning towards the Centaur, but the modeler inside of me wants to do the Terror from the Deep because I'm going to convert the models into like a matrixy style. They're basically techno-nids. If you look up, what are they? Necron. They're a Necron Tyranids. So Tyracrons. There's techno-nids. So on and so forth. They're basically mechanical, appeasing to my H.R. Geiger love. Like the biomechanical aspects. So it'd be kind of cool. So what's in plan for the new year? Well, first and foremost, I have the Berry Bash 1,500 point list, which again, I'm going back to my work in progress army. So I have basically 2 months or so to get it up and ready, which is why I'm leaning towards the Centaur a little bit more. It'll be easier for me to finish painting. There's not a lot of modeling required, and it's just a little bit easier to play. It's a point and click, delete a unit, possibly 2, possibly 3. And we'll kind of go from there. I know it's one dimensional and it's a Death Star, which anyone who knows me and has been paying attention to my vlogs knows how much against Death Stars I am. But hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Never join them. Always fight it. Anyways, Jason is doing his War in Heaven League number 2, which is going to be a precursor to the Berry Bash. So it'll be 1,500 points this time. I think it was 1,850 last time. It'll be 6 rounds, kind of a tournament based over 6 weeks. We had a lot of fun last time. I know we'll have a lot of fun again. And it should be really interesting. Astro 2015. This is where I'm getting to, where I was talking with Ricky, who I played against at the Michael Mumm Memorial, and he made me start to think on the Astro mentality. And unfortunately or fortunately, I've become a little bit more tournament competitive over the past year. And it doesn't mean that I'm not out to have fun. I am. Fun is always on the top of my forefront, or on the top of my list. I want to be a good sport, and I'm not looking to like steamroll opponents and be a douche about it, pretty much. But he made some valid points that made me think on whether Astro is a tournament that I'm going to attend this year or not. I'm completely undecided. The price tag keeps getting steeper and steeper, and $100 for a weekend tournament where your winners walk home with a plaque. There's no prize support. They walk home with a plaque. And that was kind of his mentality. If I've got the extra money, sure, I'll participate. But if not, then I'm probably not going to go this year. It's a very fun tournament, but I just can't financially justify it right now. I'm thinking about taking in some Hydra Factory commissions next year and maybe making it into more of a business. I'm toying with the idea. I don't know, maybe you can tell me what you think. I know there are a lot of commission painting out there. I'd be competing with some of the best. Blue Table Painting, Awesome Paint Job, buypainted.com, Frontline Gaming, just to name a few of the amazing commission paint sites out there. I don't have a name established. I basically only have what models I have done up as a guideline. And I don't know if there'd be interest or not. I don't know if I've got the time properly for it. It means that all of my hobby time would be dedicated to doing commission works if I was to get them in. So it's something I'm contemplating, and I'll figure it out in the new year for sure. Last but not least, we, as in Jason, Evan, and Scary, myself, last night had our very first Eternal Warriors Council meeting. What we are proposing to do for our community, and it's not just our community, it's outside communities as well. We're not just segregating everybody from us, but we're going to put together a tournament circuit. And I believe that this is very similar to Nova. This is very similar to Torrent of Fires. I think they have like BAOs in there and everything associated with their tournament structure. But right now, it'll be 4 major tournaments run by each one of us. So Jason will run one, Scary will run the Berry Bash, Evan does the Custodes engagement, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but it will be something. And then we're possibly going to have some minor tournaments in there as well. And you will accumulate points based upon your battle points, your sportsman score, and your painting score, and they will go towards an end result. If any of you are golfers, think of the FedEx Cup, and that's basically how it would work. So you win a tournament, you get 1,000 points. I don't know what, we haven't decided the point values yet, but you will get points, and then at the end of the tournament circuit, at the end of the season, we'll crown an overall champion. And they will get awards. I think Jason's looking into getting a really cool plaque or trophy that will be held at one of the game stores in our community, and your name will be up in lights for all of eternity. So basically at the conclusion of our meeting, after a lot of shenanigans of putting special effects on our heads, because it is Google, we were trying to put a crown on top of Scary. Jason had some lopsided eyebrows. We had a lot of fun, but we ended up handing out some homework to each other. So each of us are going to come up with 3 mission types that we're going to sort of develop on our own. We're going to charity pick. So we'll use the best of Nova, the best of the BAO, the best of ITC, and the best of what we want to put together. So, and we'll come up with a really cool battle point system, a really cool painting matrix, which is my job, I'm assuming. They basically have deemed me to be the pro painter amongst us, and I'll be coming up with a balanced painting matrix. I believe we're going to use the Nova Sportsman scoring, where you vote for your best opponents, but I know it's still kind of up in the air as to how we're going to do those. I would personally love to hear your feedback on when you go to a tournament with a painted army, what your expectations are. Do you want an in-depth paint chart? Like, do you have 4 highlights on a model? +1 point, check. Or do you want to do it where, they're base coated, they're 3 colors? Like, it will be an in-depth only to benefit the player. This is what we are looking for when it comes to painting. And I haven't discussed with the guys kind of an idea that has popped into my head, but what I'm thinking about doing is labeling each one of the tournaments as a certain base for your painting score. For example, a level 3 or a tier 3 paint would be, guys, you have to have a minimum of 3 colors on your models. They don't have to be neat. There just has to be 3 colors on the model. Think of the Neapolitan Marine, where the dude actually did brown, white, pink. That was every single one of his models. There was 3 colors on it. There was no definition between anything whatsoever. It was 3 colors on every single one of his models. Up to, let's say it's a tier 1 or a tier 7, or I don't know how I'm going to go, where its models must be shaded, highlighted, everything to that standard. And if they don't meet those requirements, they don't get marked on painting, or you get penalized. I don't know. I'm kind of brainstorming right now, but it's kind of an idea that I've been thinking about. So let me know what you look for when you go to a tournament with your painted armies, because we all have painted armies that we take to tournaments, right? In any event, that's pretty much what's been going on. I know this has been a long vlog. I've had a year to catch up on, and I will hopefully, knock on wood, do this a little bit more frequently. I'll do it as much as Deacon basically allows me to. So, I am Alfarius, transmission in.